Hello, and welcome to a little side episode where I wanted to demonstrate something. First off, Wolfpack, reading from their synopsis, is a crew of players experience the tense atmosphere of a World War II U-boat manning the stations in this realistic co-op simulation game. Several crews may play together in a Wolfpack, completing missions based on iconic events during the different stages of German U-boat warfare between 1939 and 1945. It's very similar to Artemis Bridge Simulator or the Star Trek Bridge Simulator, except World War II submarines. There have been a few games like these. I think they're awesome, great additions. I'm by myself today because of what I want to demonstrate is a surface attack. So I don't need to fiddle with the dive planes at all. You need a minimum of 2 people if you're going to be attacking while underwater. It's just you need to be on those dive planes. Otherwise you end up porpoising and lots of issues. I'm going to be on the surface. I'm going to be doing a surface attack from outside of visual range. Doesn't matter the time of day. I'll probably do it during the daytime. I'm going to try to aim for like 4 kilometers. I've been able to hit a convoy that is unaware from 4 kilometers before when working with a buddy of mine. We were doing one of the scenarios and we're kind of goofing off a little bit, but a lot of it centers around tracking the convoy on the map. And that's the focus, is how do you track a convoy from the map to get an accurate torpedo solution rather than kind of shooting from the hip, which is only really good out to 1 kilometer. Props to those who can hip shot from farther, but that I would not say that is common. We'll take U-96 and start the mission. I expect there will be plenty of cuts during all of this, so I may skip around a bit. For doing that. If you're not familiar with the game, this is a little bit what it is. It's a very interactive first-person view as you do things. These are the aft ballast tank vents. There are forward ones up here. You open the vents and it floods the ballast tanks. Which I'm doing because I am going to dive the boat briefly, just for the purposes of locating the convoy, which I should probably take a quick look. I'm not going to go out on the bridge to look around, but I will take a look through the observation periscope, see if we can see any merchants out there. I do not see any. So we'll now switch to electric engines. Because if you use diesels underwater, they tend to flood, and that's very bad for the engine. Full down plane. And the way these engine telegraphs work is, okay, you want to switch to electrics, you go to electric, then you give it a speed that you want the electrics to be at. And there we go. Starting to go down. Notice the angle change a little bit. It's because the sub is actually tilting. Can't see if I can get a good view. It's better in multiplayer. You can actually look at the other person and notice that the sub is tilted. Because you can look at their ankles. And the characters actually lean into it, which is what produces that sideways angle. That's the hydrophone station. From the sounds of it, we can hear something dead ahead. If you sweep around, notice the sound drops off. think the greatest sound is at 345 relative. The outer ring being relative, the inner ring being true bearings. So we are headed south right now. They're at about 345 relative, as if the nose of your boat was pointed north, but it's not. Pointed at 185. The 170 is what we're looking at for a true course. It's important because when you're mapping it, you want to use a true course. When you're steering, you want a true course. When you're looking through the periscopes and stuff, though, you want relative courses. Alright. Go ahead and steady up on that course. Bring the sub up. Close this vent, since I didn't earlier. Normally it's good practice to close it once you've flooded both the fore and aft tanks. Seen here, forward, aft. Once they are full of water, the sub has neutral buoyancy. There's this other much smaller tank you see it has 4.5 cubic meters, as opposed to each balance tank is 50. It's the negative tank, why it's called the negative tank pressure valve. And you can use that to drop the boat without having to use the dive planes. Before I forget, we need to blow the tanks so we have some decent speed. This is pushing compressed air into the tanks to push the water out. I guess this is a semi-tutorial as well. And if you listen, it sounds like it's running dry. But you have the gauges, so you don't actually need to do that. I saw the patch notes, which I haven't played in a little bit. They said that they were simulating the seafloor now. Not that there's any near us. Very far. Oh, wrong button. That's the bilge pump. This is the air compressor. Very loud. This is an Echo Ranger. Sends a pulse downwards to measure the distance to the seafloor. Pop our periscope up. Switch to diesels at great speed, because we don't want to charge our battery. We're using the electrics, and this is the battery charge. And pull on the compressor. Now it's a matter of going as fast as we can to catch up to the convoy and start our tracking on the map, which is the important part. Not going to be my usual commentary where I'm talking constantly. There's just not that much to do at this point. This is me using the binoculars inside the ship to see that needle very carefully. Might have to do... Okay. There we go. I thought it would charge automatically. I've been playing other U-boat games. Or submarine games, they're all U-boats. Usually, most games, they charge automatically. This one you have to tell it. Okay, now that I've taken care of everything I need to, we can come up to full speed. Give a quick tour of the sub while we're waiting to catch up to things. Bilge Pump, that's the part under the deck where the boat is curved. They put ballast bricks in there to help balance out the boat. It can fill with water. That fills up here, and you use compressed air to pump that out. That's technically the hatch that goes to the engine room, the aft portion of the ship. It is closed. You cannot go there. Went over the Echo Ranger already, the compressor. You have your alarm. You see these scattered throughout the boat. Those are 2 individual clicks, and just leave it running. It's very annoying. Shift to red night lights. And back. Negative tank pressure valve. This is the vent to let water in, since the fore and aft ballast tanks are those. You have your map, which I'll show in a little bit, which your navigator gets to see all the relevant gauges. Your dive officer, relevant gauges, and your helmsman, relevant gauges. Helmsman being in control of engine as well. If you go forward, you come into the captain's bunk and the radio room. If you go through this non-tight door, there's another similar radio room just next door on a Type 7 U-boat. And then officer country, you have berthing bunks on either side. And then you go further forward, you hit the torpedo room and a bunch of enlisted berthing and so on and so forth. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I showed you the hydrophones. You have relevant gauges. You have a gramophone. They have some songs that you can play. You have an Enigma machine, so you can start figuring out, okay, what do I... It's not fully implemented, so it's not a really big deal. You have a telegraph key, you type key on the keyboard. E is a DIT. I'm trying to remember what just DAW is. No. I used to know Morse. Once, long ago. I didn't practice it enough for it to permanently engage. You have the SOS. Everyone should recognize that. You can actually set channels for the transceiver, so you can communicate between U-boats. And then, I don't think the radio direction finder is working yet. Yeah, it is still not implemented, but you would use it to detect radio signals to help locate the convoy. I know I'm going pretty fast. I'm not going in depth with each of the gauges. We have a sighting. Lower our speed. See if we can start doing this. They are at 006 relative, and we are on a course of 170. So, oh yes, gotta fix all this. Where is it that I want? I want distance. I want angle. So at 176, some undetermined range. I guess I can turn the distance off. There's my 176 line. Once we start identifying whatever this merchant is, looks like we have an escort. Another merchant. They appear to have a stern aspect. Approximately 170 starboard. So, if we head... Get rid of that protractor. We kind of head in this direction, parallel the course. That would be ideal. First, let's draw a range circle. We want to stay approximately, go for 4 kilometers. I'm not sure visibility is good enough. There's kind of a fog haze. I'm going to draw another circle over here. Actually, I don't want that one, because their apparent travel, well, I'm not going to worry about it yet. We're going to go off as if we're looking at a dead stern aspect. We'll start fixing things later. But we want to be on this line here. So we'll come starboard 90 degrees. It'll be 260, I believe. And we'll come up to full speed again. No reason not to. And this gets into a little bit of how we're going to end up getting a 99% accurate torpedo solution to fire a torpedo at extreme ranges, as long as the convoy is not maneuvering. They start taking evasive actions, all that stuff goes out the window, and you're going to have to start making estimates. Now they should be off the port side. I like to get one of these identified so I can actually start taking ranges. That is looking like a flower. Not the manual, we want the recognition. Been a little bit since I've played. Do we have keyboard? Recognition manual C. Yes, the flower. Oh, well, maybe not. Tribal or a flower. Splash of white. The game's in very early development, so you can. There's no like multiple paint jobs. Single stacker. I'm gonna go with the flower then. I happen to know mast height's 20. Looking in case it changed. Looking in case it changed. Yeah, that looks pretty well. Can't really see her mast though, so getting a range is going to be difficult. Where are we? Start angling in a little bit sooner. On the left, 30 degrees. 25. 24. And 23. Okay. Well, we didn't finish the tour of the sub. Go up. We have the torpedo data computer, which we will make good use of later. There's an extra set of helm and engine controls up here. And then there is the attack periscope, which, unlike the observation periscope, which just goes up and down and it's fully extended or not, the attack periscope has full authority to go up or down as needed. Then you have a hatch. You have your Gyro Repeater, which is this compass. Gyro compass or gyro repeater, since there's a master compass, so this is a repeater. The master is actually on the aft portion of the main control room. Rudder controls, pair of binoculars, the UZO, with absolutely no heading indication. I don't know as they had it set up like that. I know on real ships you'll have this set on top of a gyro repeater that's illuminated, and it will actually give you an indication in the upper portion where you can, like just at the top of the view where that line intersects, you can actually see where you're pointing it. That might not be the case. You can always, they could have always put something for a relative bearing around here, and as a lookout you would look through the binoculars, point it at an object, and look and be like, okay, so this is pointed at 350 relative. But that's not the case, and I don't know if that's because it's historically accurate or because they haven't gotten around to it yet. But the UZO is kind of useless. Like, even an indicator of, hey, we're pointed at this direction. Ooh, I can start identifying. There is a deck gun. Can't quite get to it there. There's a ladder down here. I'll actually go down it. Yes, you can run around on the deck. You can engage in surface battles using the deck gun. Makes a lot of clicky sounds. And you can use the AA gun. Not interested in any of that stuff at the moment. Gonna head down. Closing the hatch behind me. We don't have a lookout. We don't need to worry about it. All I'm going to end up doing is accidentally sinking myself by diving with it open. Which shouldn't happen at any point. Have another 10. 20. 30 degrees to port. Nailed it. 190. Man, that haze is brutal. See them? They're out there. I'm gonna need to angle in some more. Should be getting closer. We'll keep on as is. Okay. Soon we should be able to start making some kind of estimates. This is the right rear ship of the convoy. Looks like there's 4 merchant ships in a square formation. We have this presumed flower as a chaser. There might be a lead destroyer or something. This is set on medium, but it's very early in the war. So, at 321 relative. So that'll be minus 40 degrees from 190. Get rid of the distance. .40 from 190. So we go 150 and then add 1. Continue this line. They were probably somewhere here. Now they're down around here. Well, no, because this isn't their course of travel. We don't have their exact course yet. We could use the apparent angle on bow. Kind of figure that out. And if you're going to do this faster, that's a good way. Also, practicing this is a good way to get better at estimating for those hip shots. Like, I would say, given the position, I'm going to assume these two merchants are side by side, separated by some distance. Using that and kind of what I can see, I'm thinking I'm looking at a 70 degrees on bow. Doing that math in my head to kind of figure it out. Because what's easiest is you get abreast of them, so you're 90 degrees on bow, directly side by side, some distance apart. If you can maintain distance, your course is their course, as long as they're going straight. Start getting rid of some of these. Don't need that one anymore. Don't really need that one. See about drawing a new line. And we're looking at I'll call it 315. That is 320 would be 40 degrees from 360. So we need 45. We're at 190. Need to subtract 35, 150, 145. And they should actually be like somewhere in this vicinity, because these lines, they'll be before the intersection because they are traveling in a southerly direction. So since these are lines that are temporally different from each other, some time has passed, they will have traveled. Given how narrow they are, I need to start putting timestamps down. Let's do that when we get to 310. I'm gonna bring us left as well. Make the math easier, do it at 180. So we're looking at 320 to match what we were thinking of before. The 310 when we were traveling at 190, if you're following that math. I have some experience as a mariner, so I'm kind of used to working with 360-degree circles and doing math. Should really identify these two so we can get ranges. There we go, 320, 40 degrees, 140, and we need timestamp, drop, and 140. Now we'll take a little bit. We'll start identifying. Oh, that's new. I didn't have this before, so like if you can't see the masts, you can say, well, the tip of the funnel, which is visible, is 12. That is very convenient. We need merchants. Part of the way to identify, probably the easiest way, is to look at the upright sequence. Which that is if you read the manual, they do a good job of explaining it. But this to me looks like mast, 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 funnel. That's what we're going to put in. Mast, 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 funnel. Check mark it. And one of these should be the type of ship we're looking for. Fortunately, these two targets are merging. This one has a raised bow, though, and some stuff on deck. Looking at a raised bow. No forward superstructure. Placement is aft. That's already taken care of by the funnel. I don't usually mess with these. There is no mid island. Is that what we're looking at? Light Merchant Type 24. Let's go back to the unspecified. Light Merchant 20 Type 24. I think the masts are too far apart. And one of these might be a king post. I didn't see kind of a split on it. Those are clearly 3 masts. There's 2 masts. Just might have misidentified something. Fog certainly isn't helping. Yeah, that's definitely a flower. It's gonna be hard sitting here abreast of them. Well, let's try the flower. We know that the top of their funnel is 12 meters. We get right at their water line with the horizontal line. They almost have 1 centiradian, which is that hash mark. Once you get up to the heavy hash mark, that's 5, and then the one that's marked 10, that's 10 centiradians. That's what I mean when I'm saying that. We're fully zoomed in, not zoomed out. If we look at 12, 1 centiradian, and it's actually even a little bit less, they're probably at about 5 kilometers. I don't want to use the Corvette as a marker for the travel of the convoy because she is maneuvering a lot. These guys, they're just plodding along. Oh, and we are at 308. So, wrong button. If we drop the timestamp, 308. We're looking at 50 degrees port. Then 2 more. 128. Once these lines intersect, they're in this section. Definitely have some stuff on deck. Raised bow, raised stern. Kind of a cut in. They have this cut sort of stern. Raised bows. Reasonably long. I don't think it's a light merchant type 23. Stack for this coming out at the stern. I don't think it's a heavy tanker type 35. The look though. Stack's coming out the right way. We'll Looking for ones without a middle island. It doesn't have a raked mast. Type 28. Doesn't have the flared bow. I don't know, I suppose that could be a heavy tanker. Oh, that guy. He should be a little easier to identify. Mast, funnel, mast. Because everyone has one of those. Heavy freighter type 31. No, because he has a radio mast forward. Looking radio mast forward. Radio mast forward. I don't think it's that one. Well, close to the stern, there's a little bit of superstructure in the aft portion. Radio mast is very far forward. Bow is raised, kind of in that stepped pattern. Okay, medium taker type 35. That one was easy. Now that button is new as well. I don't know how to use that one yet. Or identified. Medium tanker. Where did it go? Type 35. Identified ships. Okay, there we go. That is handy. That is a new feature. Still pulling away from them. Drop slow. Take a bearing on this guy. 298. We're looking at 360 degrees. 298. No, that was 90 degrees. 60 degrees from 180 is 120. Add 8. Nope, I did something wrong. Take a look at that again. 300 would be 60 degrees, so yeah, we have to go back 2 degrees. Go to 120, back 2 degrees. 118. I really want to get this guy identified. Nice funnel. Yeah, it doesn't have a raised midships though. Could be the heavy tanker. Length is 144. Length is 119. Maybe. Raised bow has a midships thing going. I'm gonna go with that for now. So we're looking at a mast height of 38 on the forward mast. If we take a look, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 centiradians. 38. 38, 4 centiradians, we're at 3.8 kilometers. 3.8 kilometers at bearing 295. Drop our timestamp. Not there. But we don't really need that line anymore. at 295, I said. 295. So that's 65 degrees off of 180, 115. Oh, get a distance. 4 kilometers. What was it? 38, 3.8. 115, 3 point. Close enough. There is our position for that guy. Once we wait a couple minutes, and look, there's the forward destroyer that's a little bit close. What are we looking at? 2 centiradians. I was just thinking, I was talking about a forward guy. 32, forward mast, 14, or funnel, forward funnel, 14. Superstructure, 16. Superstructure, 16, 4. That is way too close. Doobie 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 doo. I guess we don't really need to go that fast. Both engines 10 slower. We'll stop at 270. Gonna make math even more fun. Okay, forward mast. Looking at slightly less than 4 centiradians. Bearing 202. Let's see about the math now. I want to start pulling up a calculator just so I don't spend so much time thinking in my head and possibly making a mistake. We take 360 minus 202, and we subtract the result, 158. From 270, we get 112. So 112, 38, slightly less, so we're looking at 4 kilometers probably. 112, 4 kilometers. We're looking course of 180 presumed. Alright, how many centiradians are you? 2.5. That's a more comfortable range. We'll come left. Drop speed slightly more. 9 knots. 8 knots. Seven and a half. Which is dead slow. Whoops. Might actually be close to what I wanted. There's probably around 6 knots. No, it's 7. I'm going to guess that they're going 5 knots, just by previous experience. Stay at 6 1/4, 6 and a half, wherever we're at. Take another bearing. 301, 60 degrees. $180, 60 degrees. Is that right? That can't be right. 301. 180, 120. I didn't take a range. Which we are looking at 4 centiradians. Seem right. We're at 3.8 kilometers. Two, 293.4 kilometers. Nope, stop that. That one's a scratch. Kilometers. 293. So we go to 120, so that's 60 degrees. 360 minus 300. And then 293, so we go 7 more. That'll be 113. 4 kilometers. That doesn't match their course. These might have been bad ranges though. It's kind of hard to see that very thin mast. Might take a second check off the aft funnel. Is 2. 2 centiradians, 25 courses between. 5 kilometers on that one. 5 kilometers be for 38. 3 centiradians. 1, 2. Oh, that's embarrassing. Miscounted. That explains that. 113 at 5. That's more like it. Looks like they might have a slight easterly course, or it might just be the inaccuracies of the range. Right now, we're presuming course of 172. I'll pull up my calculator, which is going to cause the screen to go away. This is what I use. So we have distance of 1660 meters over a period of figure out why it's minimizing this, because it would be really easy to just do this on a separate screen. If I could reference the exact times. My time thing. I had a clock converter. Oh, no, I did it inside. Okay. So we have 35 to 42. That is 7 minutes and 21 seconds. 7 minutes, 21 seconds. Speed is 7.11 based on that. So we can actually start getting this dialed in. We want slow speed. Exactly 180 degrees. We're gonna go up to the TDC. So we're gonna start getting this dialed in. A range of 5 kilometers. Target speed is 7. Angle on bow is approximately 90 degrees. Actually, let's point the attack periscope at them. Angle on bow is actually a little bit more like 080. I don't care about their length. I'm looking at sniper shot. Keep it minimum depth. I'm not really concerned about that right now. Attack periscope 080. This light is green. We extend the range, goes red. That means we could make a shot at 5 kilometers, which would be the longest shot I've ever made. But we're going to take some more readings before we do that. So let's take another range. Approximately 5 kilometers. Just a hair more. So we're going to go with 5.1 at 292. 5.1, 292. 292, so that should be about there. 5.1. Drop our cross. Delete our old one. Take a look. What are we looking at now? 2738 meters. At 10, 11, 12 minutes, 15 seconds. Minutes, 15 seconds. No, I didn't want that one. Gosh darn you, Open Office. I need to get my Microsoft Office installed again. We're looking at a speed of 7 knots. We're pretty confident of that. Course is approximately 173. So we're going to come left to 170. Using the course, we're going to get a 100% or almost nearly 100% accurate angle on bow, because that's going to be critical to having an accurate shot at range. Settle. Stop wiggling. Alright, that should be good. So, 7 knots. Go back up here, and I may stop using the navigation map. We'll just stay up here. So, 7 knots. We have it dialed in. Go to the map. Oop, wrong button. Don't need the map. Need the periscope. What are we looking at? 2.5 or 1.5. Oh no, might be further. Doesn't quite get up to the 3rd centiradian. The last reading might have been a little inaccurate. What are we looking at for the mast? Or funnel, I mean. Yeah, we're gonna slow down a little bit. Oh, no, there's the rest of the mast. Fading out with it. Set for high, okay. Getting the best that we can get. A little bit more than 3 centiradians. Still looking at that 5.1 to 299. Did I come left? I forgot already. Yes, came left to 170. So we drop this point, which is a little bit aft of the center of where we are, because we have moved since I've moved stations. We have 299, 300, that's 60 degrees off of 170, so 110, 109 at 5.1 kilometers. Alright, let's stop taking the centiradians as our primary, and we're going to use probably this line as our apparent course of travel. Get rid of the show distance. Don't care about that. We just want a line for their travel, which I'm going to say is 172 degrees. That is that ship's course. We're going to use our calculator again. We're assuming that they are traveling at 7 knots. We want to do 5 minutes, 1111. Easy. So from this point, need our distance again. We draw. Now we're starting to want to get more accurate. 172, 111, or very nearly. So we're going to want that position. I can't do it there. Do it off to the side. 111 at 172. Close enough. Air on the side of short. And 1111. Forgot an important aspect, and that was writing down the time that I started making these marks. But we can use this 1151. So this is going to be 1156, which we can check in a minute. 1201. Position at 1206. Now we have a prediction. I have to test to see if it is true. Safety. We want to take a look at this guy, which is starting to get a little closer. We're looking at, let's slow down some more. Map. Chronometer says 11:55. We take 11:55. Waiting half a minute. I might just cut that out. boring part of this. It's a very time-consuming process, but that time consumption will get you a rock-steady long-range shot where you never have to be seen. The whole goal of it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, will be 295. Looking at 295 from this timestamp. 295. Oh, right. 6 degrees off 170, 105. Looking at this line. Put that there. That's our intersection. It's 6 kilometers. Which seems inaccurate because we seem a lot closer. It's almost 4 centiradians. 3.8. Look at that. 3.8. 3.8. 1.05. That is our apparent position. Are they zigzagging? I don't think they are. I'm right. We have not drifted off course either. We'll come right all the way to 200. Going 8 knots. That's too fast. There we go. Oops, overshot. Keep coming left. There we go. 4 knots. It's a little bit slow, but that's fine. What are we looking at? Okay. Do we have the right ship identified? Take another look. We have a better look now. Splayed mast. Go back to the recognition manual. I want merchants. Don't have a radio mast forward. Actually, it's looking like the bow isn't as raised as it looked initially. Might actually be one of these. Mast height's the same, so that works. But you see that forward one is a little... Yeah, this is what we're looking at. We need to be making our measurements off the middle mast. We are looking at... So thin, hard to see. Three and 3/4. Three 3/4. Logarithmic scale. Call it 4 and change. Let's drop our point. Take a look. She is at 267. $360 minus 267. Difference of 93. negative plus our current course, which is 200. We're looking at 107. 107 at 4 kilometers. That'll change things slightly. Oh, that's that one. Bet you I've been switching back and forth. Rats. No wonder there was some confusion. Add this in. Does have a raised bow. Well, at least we identified the other one. 3 and change. At 267.5. Do 269. 360 minus 269. Negative plus 200. Our current course 109. Not quite 4. 3.8, not quite 4. I'm gonna go with like 4.1 kilometers. What happens when you get bad ratings? Aren't we going to send those to the parents? Oh. When I get P, yes. Alright, let's take a look. That's making me nervous. If they have an angle on bow, we have their course wrong. Doesn't make sense. That angle on bow, they should be headed in southwesterly direction, southeasterly. Bet we don't have anybody with a king post. That would make this easy. I'm actually going to work under the assumption that they are running at a course of 200. Looking at their angle on bow right now. Get abreast of the forward ones. Nah. Two 7 knots. Make sure this time. I think we are further away now. Call that 3.5. 3.5. Midway point would be 4.4, but it's logarithmic. Call it 4.6 kilometers. Double check that. 4.6 kilometers. 272. 4.6 kilometers. 272. Alright, check that one more time. 272. Yeah. $272 off of 200 be 110, 112, 4.6 I said. It's still saying they're going in that direction. Take a reading off this and see how that is. Won't be the most accurate. It's not a terribly long time. 989 over 4 minutes 18 seconds. 4 minutes 18. 7 1/4. What angle was that? 170. I'm left with 180. Well, leave it a slow drift. Closer we to this guy. And nailed it. I'll bring us down in speed a little bit. Yeah, raised bow. We've got the right guy. Doesn't have a bunch of whatever that is on deck. We're looking at 3. Three and a quarter or so. Maybe 4,800. meters, bearing 292. 29 should be the same. We're almost paralleling them. That work out to be about the same. Course 171 instead. I think that's a good reading. They really look like they're ahead of us, though. Looks like I am ahead of them. Maybe they're kind of in a... These two are not side by side. They're kind of zigzagged. So this is the rearmost. This one is a little bit ahead and to the port of this one. This one is to starboard of the center of the formation. This one is in the lead on the port side of the formation. Looks almost like we have a slight bow aspect. We were looking at a stern aspect and we were behind and these two guys were abreast. We would be looking at this guy being over here with a slight stern aspect. So they must be staggered. Get a range on this guy. Mast height is 35. Not 35 of what part? Aft mast. All that a little bit less than 3 centiradians. 47. Less than 3 centiradians, so like 5 kilometers. Presume they are 200 meters apart. Interesting. Get the next reading on this guy. Right at 3 centiradians, maybe a hair over. We're really increasing range like that? Take another look. 3 centiradians. A bit more. We're looking at 5 kilometers, 292. Slowly increasing range. Course is 170 off of that. Let's take a look at this. 2282. 2282. Difference of 3 minutes 55 seconds. Seven and a quarter. Okay. I trust that. We've taken enough readings for it. Seven and a quarter. See if we can get an actual angle on bow now. Not the recognition manual. We look at the protractor. Rotate to 170. We're looking at an angle on bow of 120. Does that make sense? We're looking at the stern. This is starboard of the formation destroyer. These guys are zigzagged. 120-ish. Still hit that. Very long time to impact. Impact angle is not ideal. Not bad, it'll work. Kinda want to take a stab at it just to check my work. Fortunately, you can't save in this game. With this guy hanging out to the starboard side of the formation, I'll need to swap sides. Let's check. That is slightly air above 3 at 293. above 3. So still 5 kilometers. $293, which would be 113. Doesn't quite make sense. You. Curious if there's zigzagging. That's gonna throw this all off. $38 meters. The raised 38. $38 meters. Air over 3 centiradian. 3.1. We're looking at 5 kilometers. Huh. We'll take it. $173. I'm really curious if they're drifting some. Or if our readings are just that far off, which is quite possible. Doesn't feel like it's a 120 bow aspect. Guy looks like he has a slight bow aspect. This guy looks like he has a slight stern aspect. These guys should be abreast. In which case they're doing more of a course of 180. Unless I came to 170 and I forgot to count for that. Nope, we're at 180. Well, fish or cut bait, I suppose. Let's do a sprint. The flower I know is 20 meters. Tribals I'm less confident of. 16 for the dome. 16 for the dome. So if we're looking at 16 for the dome, we do not want to get closer than 3 centiradians max. But we've got some room to work with. Let's sprint, see what happens. Go ahead and take rangings while we're doing it. The hair over 3, so we'll call it 5 kilometers again, 292. Be 112. 5 kilometers. Now they look like they're doing 180. I'm really curious whether they implemented convoy zigzagging, which will make this a little harder. They're zigzagging. I'm going to have to figure out something to calculate it based on the zigzag. Shouldn't affect it too much. It will affect it. We're getting there. Looks like it's a little bit more. 4.8. Wait for a little bit more of a gap. Okay. Yeah, that's like 3 1/4 at 284. Four and a quarter, 284. I mean 3 1/4. Oh, 4.8. 284. 70. 80. 27. 28. 4.8. That makes sense. 7.5, 7.7, 7. I think that one's a faulty one. 175. I think they're going on a course of 175. These are just overestimated ranges. This is this destroyer. Close enough to make me nervous. Alright. Let's start getting this dialed in now. We're looking at a range of for all this line 175. Okay, let's do draw from midpoint. I like this one. I feel like it's pretty accurate. We'll do a 175. And I haven't used the midpoint tool yet. From there, we are looking to launch at minute 30, so 122, 12:22. We need to add 7 minutes 37 seconds. At a speed of 7 1/4. They will be I have to check that again. 1753. 1753. It will be there at 12:30. Let's go the protractor. their bow. We're going to be sitting from approximately here. We're going to have an angle on bow of 112. On 12, we will be at a range of 5 kilometers and a squidge. 7 1/4 depth, fine, length, fine. Doing one shot at a time, impact angle, bearing. And we have the angle on bow correctly because we're pointing at them. 112. And they should be at a bearing of approximately 270, 12 degrees above 90. Oh, 187, I think, what we're hoping they're at. I don't think they're going to be there. We're pacing. Take one more read. I have the time to do it. Is 3.5. 3.5. 3.5. Bearing 281. Wait, you. So it's like 4.5 kilometers. It's just not right. I think they're zigzagging. That'll be new for the game too. Good thing, because it prevents you exploiting exactly this thing. Well, let's see if we have a good enough solution. We're at 280. Going to... The angle on bow should increase slightly if they turn left. Almost 6-minute run time. Oh, they mellowed out the ticking sound. Thank goodness. While we're doing that, we assumed they were 200 meters further. So, add a little bit. Switch to tube 2. Then be a little bit less. We know this one is the identified ships. Details. Heavy tanker 28. Mast height is 38 from the top of that mast. And we will go down to 48, let's say. Fire tube 3. And then we will go slightly more and do tube 4 on this guy. There we go. Now all we have to do is wait and see how well this works or doesn't. Hate for it to all be for naught, but you've seen at least the principles of how this works. If I spent more time refining it, I could get it pretty accurate. Let's see. Almost dead still. 305. Target angle. We're looking at... This will be more of a hip shot. 16 meters. 2 centiradians? 2 centiradians. Slightly less even, so let's call it... Call it... .4. Scan fire. Showing a little bit of a stern aspect. Go 115. I don't think that one's gonna hit. That's completely winging it. And now we wait and see. The exciting part. How well did we do? I can't say as I'm confident of this one as I was one of the other time where I did it with a buddy at 4.5 kilometers. Or 4.5, 4, somewhere in there. Like that one I had them locked in and I was projecting their position, looking at what the bearing was going to be, what the range was going to be, and then verifying with the Periscope and the recognition manual to see, oh yeah, they are at this bearing, at this time, at this range, which helped me get a little bit better at ranging things. I'm just not getting to that point with this. There's some confusion about this, and I'm not seeing what it is, other than potentially some convoy zigzagging. Not a terrible amount of convoy zigzagging. Maybe I should have aimed for the funnels on these ships, or the rear. Aim for the stern, presuming that they're going to do a zigzag, and then as they zigzag they'll actually have a slower apparent speed, except we took our speeds off the forward progress of the positions, so 7.25 should still work. I'll bump this up to where it was. I think it was 5 minutes and 58 seconds or something. 7.25. We get to like 6.5 minutes, then we have missed this one at least. She keeps idling like that, she's gonna get hit. Kind of guesstimated her speed though at 2 knots, bare steerage, using the funnel smoke as an indicator. Flowers cruising. Alright. Big target. We have a chance. Did everything by the book. Only time will tell. I'll call that a miss. Be nice if you could see where it was coming. Oh, there's one. Hit the bow, so we were aiming too far forward. Wait and see. If we were to dive, we could actually listen on the hydrophones and see how close, but I'd rather have the visual indicator of who we hit and when. I will accept a 25% hit ratio at 5 kilometers though. That does make me feel good. It's something. We could of course take another stab at it using just visuals, no map indicator. This is 3 and a lot. We'll drop the range, call it 4 kilometers. Apparent angle on bow looks to be, go with 100. No torpedo depth, we'll leave the 7 1/4. Actually, we'll drop it down to 70 even. We did hit the bow of that one. And that one's going down. We lowered the speed, took a new ranging. That one's turning away. Yeah, with that one turning, this one's going to turn sometime soon. Like they may have reduced speed as well. Maybe I should have done a spread. Assume that she's going to turn away. Slower speed. Try that. We're looking at 4 minutes. Since missed the destroyer. Oh, it looked like she turned in towards us instead. We have the third shot. She turns in, she's looking like that. And shablam. That one will be, should all be right around 4 minutes. We'll have no idea which one is going to hit either. And then I'm just going to turn away and call it. Mission complete. I'll be curious as to whether we were ever detected. Yeah, she's starting to turn away now. If we sink her, I think that puts us at enough. Nope, that's a light tanker. We need one of the other ones. Or no, that's the light tanker. This is the one I wanted. Oh yeah, if we hit that, we sink that, the one where we were just aiming at, then we win. Successful surface attack, although not the best demonstration of using the map technique of gauging it. I think it's going to miss though. 2 others, they're turning directly away from us. If this tanker continues to turn away to that point, even the one that we shot kind of as if she was going to turn away, was presuming she was going to turn back to her normal course and do an S-turn. And it looks like they're just turning directly away, fleeing the source of attack. Be really nice if I could accelerate time. So we have 1 minute to go. Yeah, she's continuing to turn. The one we aimed where she presumably turned away, she turned in towards us, then turned away, so there is a chance that one will hit. The other two are clear misses. And she's presenting a very low profile. I think we're going to miss this one altogether. But it was kind of a long shot. Kind of shooting from the hip. Starting to come starboard again? That's increasing our chances. Increasing our speed and turning away, and gonna call it quits and end the video. I could use some lunch myself. Getting kind of hungry. Further away than we would have presumed. Coming to starboard. 5 minutes won't be out of order. Guess to 6. Yeah, she's definitely a miss. And yeah, we're almost 6 minutes. Still, for the convoy unaware, we had a hit ratio of 25%. Not bad. Again, not what I wanted, but not bad. Probably going to split this into 2 episodes. Release one of them tomorrow on Sunday. Or, no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday. Another one on Monday. Although I might break it up. But I imagine most who want to see an episode on Sunday. A cliffhanger somewhere in the middle. Will want to see how it turns out. And there'll be hour-long episodes each. If there's no editing. I might try to trim out some of the more boring parts. Get it down to 40 minutes each. Usually my target. Yeah, we definitely missed her. Go ahead and abort the mission. Oh, right, because we fired the stern tube at the destroyer. I'm calling it 25% though, because for using the map technique, we shot 4 merchants, 4 torpedoes, 4 merchants, and we got 1 hit. completely using the map to decide what the TDC was going to do. So I'm going to call that a win. And thank you for staying with me till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Please leave me a comment. I'm sure some of you have some tips that I can use to be even better next time, because I'm by no means an expert at this technique. But not many people know of it, so I'm hoping a lot of you learned from it. And I hope you found it interesting. So I will see you next time. Take care.